Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Nuttertainment. I'm Scott Nutter. And recently, my wife said that I was a narcissistic chauvinist. And I was impressed because I didn't think she knew that many big words as a woman. But after I looked both of those words up in the dictionary, I realized that she was not complimenting me. So I went back to her and said, well, first of all, you say narcissism like it's a bad thing if I'm better than other people. Well, that's just a fact, Jack, all right? Secondly, a chauvinist believes that men are better than women. Well, men are just smarter than women. That's just a fact, all right? For instance, there's a correlation between income and intelligence. And I make most of the money in this family. Go out, I drive a truck 60, 70 hours a week, and I bring in most of the income while you are here at the house running the B&B and only make 25%. And she said, is that right? Well, tell me, I've got a question. Is it smarter to make most of the income and work 70 hours a week, or marry somebody who works 70 hours a week and makes most of the income? My wife's a genius. I am so lucky to be married to such an intelligent person. So that was my little comedy bit. How did you like it? Sponsored to you by Super Green Channel. It's in the description below. And I have been recently watching or listening to this audiobook called Mastering Stand-Up. Now, I haven't quite started to implement all these things, right? But once you see the way that stand-ups do their thing, or he basically pulls the cover off, opens the curtain. You see behind the curtains on this stuff. Fascinating. And there's always been an inner comedian that's been wanting to come out. I had said that the recent comedy bit that I did on stage in San Antonio, the 5-minute bit, you can go back and watch that. And my own scrutiny, I'll probably have better scrutiny after I learn more. I thought that was my first, but actually I had done 2 other ones. One at Freedom Farm Christian School. I was supposed to kind of stall things along, and I, for some reason, had some comedy material in my back pocket. And so I got some laughs there. We have it on record, actually. There's a recording of that. I might share it someday. And then another time, still in the same area in Hillsdale, Michigan, or Pittsford, Michigan, it was called Sugar Creek or something like that. Anyway, it's a campground. And there was some karaoke and stuff. And there was a break or whatever, and I went up there and I did a little comedy bit. Didn't get a whole laughs on that one, a whole lot of laughs. My aunt laughed at one of them pretty good, like the first thing I said, but I think it was more of a courtesy laugh. Thank you, Barbara. So Scott Adams talks about a talent stack. What he means is a skill set. He also uses that term as well. So if you're pretty good at several different things and you put those things together, you can build something extraordinary. And I've got a lot of background in writing. I've written poetry, pretty good at that, if I do so say myself. But a narcissist would think that. So other people can judge on that. Probably the most skilled thing I do is poetry. And I'm better than ChatGPT and Grok and all of them. Sometimes they do a good job on the first try, but most of the time, they're just trained on a lot of mediocre. That's $1. I just lost $1. My sponsor said, look, every time you touch the microphone, I'm going to charge you $1. I'm like, good, that's good. Anyway, I got to get back to, I have some other things I'm thinking of saying, but I'm not going to say them because it's further distracting from this great content. So So he's really showing how to do that. One of the things he says is comedians don't tell a story in chronological order. They make us, they set the scene, the setup, and then they make each statement is a punchline. And the more punchlines, the better. You can just say the punchline, you get a laugh, say the next line, get a laugh. And you do that until you've exhausted that topic, and then you move on to another topic. And once you see it all getting breaking down, I find it fascinating. So my skill set, by the way, is writing, poetry, public speaking. I'm comfortable being on a stage. I like to sing. So all those put together, that's a lot of different things that I'm more fluent at. Probably not the best. One of the things that, well, I mean, obviously not the best. Otherwise, I'd be quitting my job and doing something else. But Scott Adams says you don't have to be excellent at any one of those things. For instance, he says, I'm not a great drawer. I don't draw that well, but I draw adequately enough. I'm not the funniest person in the room, but I have some humor. I know how to write and put words together and all that stuff. So he's got about 3 or 4 that he mentions, but you put that together. Oh, he has a business degree and an economics degree, so he was able to use that to negotiate some contracts and stuff. But you could also hire that out as well. In the future, I think if I could learn these principles that I'm learning in this book, also watch them being done. Novelty is another thing. Comedy, you have to constantly use the principles of comedy to come up with novel jokes. So there's a lot to that, and it's kind of a moving target, maybe. But here's a poem I wrote before I knew all this that I thought was pretty funny. I mean, some people have laughed, and in the future, I'm going to try to implement those principles in there. But I wanted to share this, and then that's about all I got for today. It's my day off, so that's why this is later. But usually about 5 a.m. Central or 5:15 Central, somewhere around there, I go live. So if you want to contribute live, if you're up that early, or you're on the East Coast and it's 6 to 6:15, or in Europe and it's later in the afternoon, evening. I've got one friend like that. If he's watching, you just jump on here. I don't know what time it's going to be in England or Great Britain or whatever, however you call that. Is there Britain and then England? I don't know. Anyway, so this poem is called The Movement, and it's about something we all should be doing at least once a day. I feel the movement. Here it comes, a muddy river called the Runs, sitting in decorous and all undignified. In this private porcelain place I hope myself to hide. Without a rhythm or a cadence, pandemonium ensues. Random blips and blops and blurbs, a humiliating ruse. Fans a-turnin', water runnin', out of sight and mind, waiting for the end of chaos from my own behind. To call the ending isn't clear, it's more or less an art, completed with the latest dropping, or maybe just a fart. Okay, granted, this is 5th grade humor, all right? So let me see if I can find another one. Oh, I've got another one, and again, 5th grade humor, but I'm going to work on some other poetry that is hopefully more in the comedic realm, if I can find my there it is. Nope, there it isn't. Okay, what did I call this? Is that the right one? No, I don't have that one connected. That is a problem, but maybe I can go on here and catch it. Actually, it would be in Google Chrome. Well, anyway, this is extra. Let's see, Docs. Oh, Google Docs. Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm going to go back. I'll try it back on my phone. I don't spend a lot of time on the computer, so can I switch on here? It's not there either. What happened? Okay, I'm going to have to sign in to the thing that I'm signed in everywhere else. I don't know what happened. There we go. Okay. Okay, I am signed in. It just uses the other ones. All right, anyway, we'll have to put that for another time. So, thanks for watching, and let's do this again later. Bye now.